The following story is based on true historical events. While we have remained faithful to the core narrative, some dramatic elements and dialogue have been added for narrative purposes. We encourage you to read the Gospels yourself to unpack even more of the true story of Jesus.
Mary Magdalene.
Who's there?
It's Joseph of Arimathea. I've come to take Mary to see our teacher.
Thank you for doing this.
It's the least I can do. We must hurry before the Sabbath begins.
Of course. Let me get the spices I've prepared.
Mary, I've seen how he called you by name, how he lifted you from the shadows. You saw his kindness, his power. You were changed by it.
The truth is, he knew me in a way no one else ever had. Before he spoke my name, before his voice shattered the darkness inside of me, I was lost, trapped. My mind was a storm I couldn't silence, a body I couldn't control, a soul that didn't feel like my own. Everyone saw me that way. They whispered, they avoided me, they called me cursed. I heard all of their accusations, yet none of their help. Everyone saw me that way, but then he came, and when he looked at me, he saw me. And when he called my name, Joseph, they left, just like that. The torment, the weight, the fear, it was gone. I could breathe again. I could feel again. I was myself again. And I knew that in that moment, I would never turn away from him.
He had that way about him.
I know what it's like to be desperate for him, to be nothing until he speaks your name. But you're a man with power, status, and influence. The Jewish council openly opposed Jesus. You had everything to lose by asking for his body to bury. Why?
For so long, I've stayed silent. I sat among the council, the Sanhedrin, the men who prided themselves on knowing God's law. Yet when God himself stood before them, they condemned him. And I said nothing. I watched him teach. I saw his miracles. I knew he was righteous. But fear kept me in the shadows. I told myself I could believe in secret, but then I saw him on that cross, beaten, bleeding, and yet still forgiven. And I knew I couldn't stay silent anymore. When I asked for his body, that was the first time I openly showed my belief in him. I imagined there would be immense repercussions for my actions, but for the first time, people saw my love for him. The tomb. We're almost there. Mary, do you believe what he said about rising again?
With all my heart, Joseph. With all my heart.
It's Nicodemus. May I enter? Peace be with you, brothers. I have heard that some of the other disciples want to gather together. We should find them and prepare a place. I have a room. It's hidden away. We pray, wait, and receive guidance on how to continue his ministry.
Yes, this is a good idea.
Dinah, my mother-in-law sent word she is near. She will arrive soon. I'll go with Nicodemus.
This is the way to the upper room. Join us when you are finished. Peace be with you.
Peace be with you.
I don't even know who will come. Since the crucifixion, they've scattered. How am I to believe that you won't betray me like Judas did to Jesus? A member of the Sanhedrin? Haven't your people done enough already?
Thomas, not all of us wanted what happened to Jesus. Some of us believed in him. I first came to Jesus at night 3 years ago. I was afraid to be seen with him in daylight. Cowardly, is it not?
What did you say to him at night that you couldn't have said to him during the day?
I asked him how a man could be born again. His answers changed me, Thomas. He spoke of being born of water and spirit, things I had studied all my life yet never truly understood. But the way he spoke of it, it wasn't like reciting ancient texts. It was as if he was breathing it, as if it was who he was.
A lot of good that secret belief in him did for him when he needed you the most.
You are right. I wish there was something I could have done to prevent this from happening.
I didn't know that.
I cared? Perhaps. Thomas, you should not doubt.
Everyone always says that. I don't doubt. I want to understand.
If it was so easy for you to follow him then, why is it so hard for you to believe he will do what he says now?
All my life, I could not believe in something unless I had seen how it was made, how it held together. So I became a builder by trade. I had heard stories of Jesus before I had the chance to meet him. His reputation, it preceded him.
Ah, yes, I can agree to that. I heard of him before I encountered him.
Yes, and where he came from, it caught my ear. Jesus, son of Joseph the carpenter? Some called him a healer, a teacher, a miracle worker. One day, Jesus passed through my village. We all stopped what we were doing to hear the teachings he had to share. He was different than any teacher who spoke before. The way he smiled, he looked at us as if each one of us, as though we were a treasure. And when he spoke, it was as if he knew the very depths of my heart. Yet, I did not feel judged.
His boundless compassion draws us to him.
That is true. He approached me after his parable. He told me he knew I needed to understand it to believe it. He was patient, and he explained things when I needed more.
You sought truth, Thomas. That is honorable.
But I was there, Nicodemus. For 3 years I followed him. I heard every word, saw every miracle. I believed.
And now?
And now? I don't know. I don't know how to believe in a dead Messiah.
You're afraid to hope.
Well, no. I'm afraid of being wrong. What good is the truth when he's gone? He promised us a kingdom.
Perhaps we misunderstood what kind of kingdom he meant.
Philip might be here. He and I were close.
Thomas? Who is this?
It's all right. He helped bury Jesus. We're gathering everyone to the upper room.
It's not safe outside. Come in, quickly.
Andrew, Matthew, Thaddeus, it is good to see you, brothers.
As it is to see you. He's really gone. And the city is in turmoil.
The upper room is secure. We can gather and figure out what to do next. Peter, James, and John will be there. Will you come?
We'll get our things.
Peter, it's Dinah. Open up, child.
Perfect.
Sitting in the dark, are you? And on the Sabbath, no less.
We weren't hungry.
You weren't thinking either. Grief does that. Ties your mind in knots. But knots can be untangled, boys. Come, eat. The body needs strength, even when the heart is weak. I remember the day you came home, Peter, rambling like a madman. I have found the Messiah, you shouted. Nearly scared me half to death.
I thought you were going to throw a pot at me.
I considered it. But then I saw your face. The way your eyes shone. I hadn't seen you like that since you were a boy, before the sea hardened you.
He changed everything.
Yes, he did. And you two? I remember when Peter first brought you home. You were like two restless pups, always bickering, always pushing to be first. I asked what you did before following Jesus, and you both puffed up like peacocks and said,
We were men of the sea.
We thought we knew everything then.
But when he found us, he called us sons of thunder.
Oh, yes. The name suits you both, because thunder doesn't just shake the earth. It announces the coming rain. You were loud, yes, but Jesus didn't silence you. He gave your voice purpose. You were never just fishermen. You were meant to carry his words where the world could hear them.
It's strange, looking back. I was so sure I knew what power was. Strength, fire, being first. But he turned it all upside down.
That's what he did. He took the boys you were and made you men.
I was just a fisherman, and yet he told me I'd be a rock. Some rock I turned out to be.
Peter, listen to me. You were a fisherman, yes, with rough hands and a rougher tongue. But you weren't just throwing nets into the sea. You were searching. Even before you knew it, you were waiting for something greater. And when he called you, you didn't hesitate.
I didn't hesitate to deny him either.
And yet, when I was so ill, burning with fever, I remember opening my eyes and seeing his face, feeling his hand on my forehead, and the fever left me instantly. You, Simon Peter, brought him into our house. You led him to me, and I was healed because you followed him.
He loved us all. He believed in who we could be.
He still does. Death cannot stop that kind of love.
Do you remember when he first called us? James and John, you were with your father mending nets.
And he just said, "Follow me," as if it was the most natural thing in the world.
And we did. Left everything.
I just had the biggest catch of my life after a night of catching nothing. But instead of being excited about the fish, I was on my knees begging him to leave because I was too sinful to be near him. He said he'd make me a fisher of men. Me, who'd spent my life with fish and nets, suddenly catching people for the kingdom.
He taught me patience. Taught me that God's judgment isn't mine to call down, but his mercy is mine to extend.
I was so ambitious, always wanting to sit at his right hand in the kingdom, always competing with the rest of you. But I understand that the greatest in the kingdom is a servant of all.
He never saw you for who you were. He saw you for who he was making you to be. That's who he is. That's what he does. He takes us as we are, fishermen, tax collectors, zealots, and he makes us new. He doesn't stop halfway.
He never broke a promise.
And he never will.
And tomorrow is the third day.
Thank you so much for listening. This podcast drama was inspired by the Holy Bible, Victory Church of Lancaster, Pennsylvania's group's ministry, and brought to life through writers Olivia O'Connell and Kiersten Shamberger. A heartfelt thank you to our incredible cast, Andrew Seaburg as the steadfast Peter, Hunter Wood embodying James, Mark Poore lending voice and strength to John, Pastor Austin Karick bringing grace and depth to Thomas, Allie Wood as the unwavering Mary Magdalene, Steve Shamberger portraying the faithful Joseph of Arimathea, Kevin Semrau, who gives voice and quiet strength to Nicodemus, Geoff Morgan, truly the MVP, taking on Philip, Andrew, Aaron, and our guiding narrator, Pam Seaburg giving voice to the wise Dinah, Pastor Curt Seaburg as the voice of Jesus, Noah Timmons as the devoted Cleopas, Kiersten Shamberger as the angel, and Olivia O'Connell as Mary, Mother of Jesus.
All audio equipment was supplied by Matt Trossel
and sound engineered by Bryce Metzner.
To all who lent their voice, their passion, and their prayers, thank you.